In today's video, I'm going to be going through all the HSW cars, minus the weaponized Ignis, and showing you guys what is the best HSW car, and then going through factual stats to reveal the best. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Oh no, it's the Sterling GT. Hella's going to waffle on about the sound again. Don't worry, I won't talk about the sound this time, even though it's the best aspect of this car, and I told you should buy this car just for the sound. We are talking purely on the basis of this being a HSW vehicle. One look at the vehicle, you'd probably think it's one of the slowest HSW vehicles. No, actually it's not the slowest vehicle. It's one of the fastest in a straight line. It's not the fastest. It goes 157 miles per hour. There's supercars on this list that do not go that speed. I think all the supercars, no supercar goes this fast, making it third round track when it comes to sports classics. And the base price of this is 900,000. But then if you do want to HSW upgrade it, 1.875 million. We are seeing a theme where the cars that are already in the game, their upgrade price seems to be a lot of money. But when you do HSW upgrade this car, it transforms it a lot, as you can see with the stats. The Cyclone II. The Cyclone II, I think, is a great car overall anyway. When you put your foot down for the first time in this car, it's worth the whole value. When you turn, you might not turn and understeer into a wall, but this car comes with that liability. You do have to let off the acceleration when you turn in any scenario, and that still doesn't guarantee a good outcome. 2.25 million is the stock price, and then only 475,000 to upgrade. Weird, yeah, such a cheap upgrade. Coming to 2.725 million for the HSW upgrade and the car. The top speed is 141 miles per hour. I would say that's quite slow, but you know, this car does get there very quickly, and it comes second place around track in supers. Now I think that's predominantly because of the acceleration and not because of its turning ability. The Turismo Classic, it was already a fan favorite in the game, and then they went and HSW upgraded this. So the car does cost 705k stock, and then 897,000 of HSW upgrades, with a total cost of only 1.6 million. I say only because it's a HSW car. It is quite cheap for that. Now, the groundbreaking thing about this car is it's first in sports classics, but it's first in sports classics by far. This was like a full 4 seconds faster than second place, thanks to Bruffy once again. And it has a top speed of 150 miles per hour, which is very good as well. So this is one of the vehicles that are up there on the most worth it here. Now, the Sentinel XS has been one of my favorite cars in the game since the game came out. I thought it was understated, and I wished for it to be on top of this list. The car has a base price because it was an old GTA car of 60,000, but the HSW does cost 1.3 million, and that makes the total of this car cost 1.365 million, including the car. It does make it the second most cheapest HSW car in the game, but with the whole host of modifications that are included with this HSW upgrade, it's just immense. There's so many more modifications. I think it's worth the buy. It's definitely lacks on power. 137 miles per hour is the top speed. It's similar to the Astron, which is an SUV, and it's second in coupes class around track. The Astron Custom HSW. Now, I've already done a rant about this, and the rant was purely because you can't upgrade the normal Astron. You have to buy a separate Astron, which is the Astron Custom. So they made you buy the Astron if you liked the car before, and then they drip thread the Astron Custom, which then you had to buy a new car for again. And okay, that's fair, but the car cost 1.72 million. The HSW price being a bit cheap though, 395k, 400k, making it a total of 2.115 million, including the car and the HSW customization. But not including the actual customizations like the turbo, that's 100k. But that's for all cars on this list. I'm not including the engine modification. That makes this car second around track in the SUV class, which is fast, but it's not the fastest. The Banshee. A car that doesn't fail to disappoint. Doesn't fail to disappoint when it comes to performance, because this car can do 153 miles per hour. It's fifth in sports, could be a bit faster, but it definitely disappoints when it comes to price. Because originally you can buy the Banshee, it's an OG vehicle, for 105,000, very cheap. But when it comes to HSW upgrade, this is the most expensive car to HSW upgrade, which is crazy. Like, why is the Banshee the most expensive vehicle to HSW upgrade? What is the reason, Rockstar? 1.84 million. Yep, it is disappointing. It is basically a careless way of saying, guys, just spend as much money on vehicles in the game We don't have to give you a reason why it costs this much money. If you want the Banshee, that's not Benny's, and it's not wide-bodied, and it's not a vehicle you can modify the interior insanely. It's backwards but forwards, so it's not a Benny's car, but it's a HSW car. I guess buy the Banshee. Not a good look, I'm not gonna lie. And maybe I should have put this on my cars that are disappointing list. Now the Arbiter. The Arbiter's the only HSW that's a classic muscle car, and this vehicle has a lot of character. Based off the Ford Torino, the GTO, it has a few in there, but it's mostly the Ford Torino. The car looks amazing. You have so many modifications for the vehicle, quite a few liveries, and the car costs 1.58 million, which is reasonable. And then on top of it, the HSW price is only 375,000. That is a really cheap HSW price. And actually, in fact, that's the cheapest HSW upgrade price throughout this whole list, making the grand total of this vehicle 1.955 million, so just under 2 million. And you get such a great classic muscle car. And I emphasize classic because this comes 5th place in muscles around the track. And obviously with this great handling, I mean, great handling as in the characteristics of the handling, not actually, you know, going round lap timers. It comes 5th in muscle. It would be quicker if it was a more modern muscle car, but it's not. This is dated and dated well. I love what GTA have done here. 141 miles per hour. Still quite a fast HSW car, and this is the vehicle you want to own because of the characteristics of it. For me, it's definitely a recommendation. Now the Issy Rally, it's strangely enough, this is an SUV, and the fact that it's an SUV, it also has 4 doors. Now that's quite rare when it comes to HSW cars, because the only 2 vehicles which are SUVs are also the only vehicles that are 4 doors. This vehicle has a stock price of 1.835 million. This is something I found ridiculous. Like, really, like a countryman being that much, and then the HSW price being 650,000, which comes to a total of nearly 2.5 million. And then the top speed of this car only being 138 miles per hour. It is quite weak for the price you pay for this vehicle, but it does come in 3rd in SUVs. I would have expected it to be 1st in SUVs, because look at it. It's probably the most sporty SUV you can get, low to the ground, HSW. It should be number 1 to be honest, but it's not. The Vigero ZX HSW. Arguably one of the best HSW cars voted by everyone else, and the data actually backs it up. A lot of people love the look of this thing because the real life resemblance, and this car is actually 1st in the muscle class, so it's really good handling, very good handling. The top speed is 158 miles per hour, making it the fastest HSW car. So it's never actually usual that people's fan favorite is actually one of the is the best. The starting price costs 1.947 million, and the HSW price costs 550,000, making it a total of just under 2.5 million. I mean, it's really data you can't argue with. This is by far factually and the most recommended by everyone else as the car you should buy. This should be number 1 priority if you don't have any HSW cars, or you're moving to current gen consoles and you don't have a HSW vehicle yet. This one should be the first to buy. Or maybe not, if you buy this and then everything else just becomes disappointing because it's worse than this. Now the Deveste Eight. The Deveste Eight, it cost a moderate 1.8 million. I think that is fair for a stock price with Rockstar's choice of prices, but then it does get a bit ridiculous when you have to spend an extra 1.1 million to get a HSW upgrade. But I don't think it's far-fetched for them to make it that price. So this does come in a total of 2.9 million, making it the 3rd most expensive vehicle on this list. So it's okay, and it does go 151 miles per hour, so it's quite fast. The 4th fastest vehicle on the list, you know, surprisingly being beaten by a Sterling GT, the S95, and a Banshee. The Deveste 8 coming in 4th place in supers. I thought it would have been higher, taking in factor it was decent handling before the HSW, so I thought it would be at the top, but no, 4th place, quite reasonable. Now the HSW Brioso. The Brioso, 155,000 originally, now cost 1.097 million to upgrade, so the total cost coming to 1.252 million. It is the cheapest on this list, but with the looks of it, you expect it to kind of be the cheapest. Now with a top speed of 124 miles per hour, even though it's such a small car and it's in the compacts class, you kind of expect it, But then, where are the boundaries of this being a HSW car and a normal car? Because cars in the game that are non-HSW can go faster than this. But it does come first in compacts, so it is fast round track if anyone cares about racing in the compact class. I know there are a few crews out there that are dedicated to races, and this will be a good car to use if they allow HSWs. But for everybody else, even though it's the cheapest, I think it's not a good buy. The Entity MT. I spoke a lot about this vehicle before, and I've spoke about how good it looks, but we gotta talk about the price a bit here. 2.355 million, it is quite expensive, and a HSW upgrade of 850,000, which when you actually look at other HSW upgrades and calculate them, it has no real meaning. The price of the Banshee cost 1 million more for the HSW upgrade. So the Banshee cost 1.8 million to upgrade, and this costs 800k to upgrade, even though this is much more of a vehicle. You can see that Rockstar have no concept for this. They don't have no legitimate reason to charge these prices. It's just we need to make sure we're charging everyone a lot of money. But anyway, the total cost of the car and HSW, it comes to 3.2 million, 3.205, and the top speed is 150 miles per hour. I thought this car was going to be the fastest in the game. I thought it was going to be #1 in top speed, but clearly not. And it comes even more disappointing when you realize it's 19th place in supers around track. 19th place. That is a disgrace, but it looks amazing. Looks amazing. The S95. The S95 has a base price of 1.995 million. That's 5k less than 2 million, but only has 525k as a HSW cost price, so bringing that to a total of 2.5 million. Now, there are a few issues with this vehicle. I wouldn't say issues, but downfalls. It is a very nice tuner vehicle, and we'd like to see it get a bit lower through the stance menu, as all the other tuner vehicles do. It doesn't slam to the ground, in other terms. And the wide body modifications on it are not really wide body, they're just bolt-ons that don't make the car wider. Crazy list of modifications though. And it is super fast, 155.5 miles per hour. That makes this car one of the fastest HSW cars in the game. The top speed comes in 3rd place here, and it comes 2nd in sport around track. So it's still a very fast and capable car, and I don't think you'd be disappointed if you love your GT86s and you love tuner cars in general. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys, and a huge thanks to Bruffy for making it possible to get these stats. Honestly, Bruffy does some crazy content. There's content that hardly has any views on his channel that has a lot of effort put in, and really he does deserve a subscribe much more than me. So I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.